So today I was plagued with some anxiety, and it's funny because it always revolves around what people think about me. That seems to be the heart of a lot of things that I get anxious about. So my birthday is coming up in a few days, and I really wanted to try to gather some people together, but it's never my strong suit of gathering people. Um, I always wonder, will people come? Will people have a good time? If people don't show up, what does that mean about me? Um, and I'm usually the one that will help somebody else plan something or really take charge in planning for someone else, but never really planning for myself. So I bit the bullet, sent out a group message, allowed the anxiety to kind of be there, the questions to be there. Um, it's uncertainty, right? Like, I have no idea who's going to show up in 2 days, or if they're going to stay, or if they're going to have fun, or um, if I'll do it again. But I can't control that, and I don't want to go through a long weekend going through my birthday and saying, once again, I didn't do anything, and there's a group of us that enjoy hanging out, so I can't say I didn't try this time. Um, so that was kind of the way that I started my day. It is something that I'm working through. It's a theme that's been there probably since high school, I would say. Um, and with the newfound understanding and I guess dedication to digging deep into these things, I have decided that when I know that it's there, the best thing for me to do is to do the opposite of what my anxiety is telling me to do. That's the life lesson of OCD treatment, if you've ever heard of ERP or exposure response prevention. Um, it's all about doing the opposite of what your anxiety tells you. So today my anxiety said, don't invite people, they're not going to come, they're not going to have fun, what if this, what if that, all the doubts, uncertainties, and the treatment or strategy to fight against that is to send the text exactly what I did and deal with the anxiety and let it be there and ride the wave of the anxiety curve, which is how they kind of describe it. Um, so for anybody who's familiar with OCD, something I was diagnosed with about 3 years ago, um, if your OCD is telling you you have to check the clock, the stove, tap something, whatever, it is your way of covering up a certain fear that you have and masking that fear in anxiety. So that anxiety is saying, I need to do this or else. But the treatment for that is to actually not do it so that you ride that anxiety, live with the anxiety, and almost prove to yourself that your deepest fear is somewhat irrelevant. So it's a matter of how much you can handle and if you're willing to do it. The biggest thing is awareness of it, and step one is awareness. So if I had just been aware that I was feeling that today, but still not sent the text, which I had done days before, today was the day I actually did it because it was still on my mind. But if I had, again, kind of been aware, these are the thoughts that are on my mind, this is what's going on, and I didn't send the text, that would still be a step towards the right direction. You're aware of the feeling, and you're kind of sitting with it. So for an OCD example, it might be, if you have to tap something 10 times, the first time you try, ERP would be tap it 9 times and sit with the anxiety of the 10th time until you can get down to 1 tap and sit with the anxiety. And each time, riding that wave, because it does dissipate, it does go down, and trusting in that and really trying to gain control of those fears, because it is ultimately covering up a fear. And actually, the longer that you let the anxiety take control over you, the stronger it gets. So, if for me, my anxiety was around relationships, so if I thought about feeling the need to tap something, that wasn't something that was an OCD trigger for me. So it was, I will say, quote unquote, easy for me not to tap something more than once, because that wasn't the trigger for me. But for me, relationships, I could ruminate and ruminate and ruminate about them, and usually it revolves around something you deeply care about, and relationships for me are my number one value. So, letting that anxiety sit there and really understanding your core fear and understanding where this is coming from can almost help you with the treatment. And I do really encourage people to seek out a specialist in OCD and dig deep into where these fears and where these thoughts are coming from, because it's important and it can teach you a lot about yourself. And there's a fulfilling and an empowering feel you get when you become aware of these things, and when you're able to say, you know what, I know this anxiety is there and I know why it's there, but I'm gonna fight through it either way. For me, it was, I have these friends in my life and they're friends with me because of who I am, and what they think of me is kind of irrelevant to me inviting them out, only because they've chosen to hang out with me before anyways. So fighting through those what ifs was a really big thing for me, and allowing myself to actually send the text and now, just have a fun night is hopefully what I plan to do, without worrying too much about who comes and who doesn't, and the reasoning behind that, because I have no control over somebody else. I have no control over why they don't come, why they would choose, one thing over the other. All I can do is control myself and the people that are there and the fun that I have. So that was a trigger for me today, and I chose to send it so that I didn't regret anything, and so that I can fight through this ultimate fear of what people think, which I think is actually holding me back from a lot in life, including my career and my passion. So that will be the next thing I tackle, and you guys will hear about that soon. So identify those triggers, pick one that you want to work on, and work on it slowly. Leave some comments below. Reach out to me if you need some help identifying those things or how to tackle them, and we'll do it together. Comment, on things that you've identified and already overcome, so that other people can see that it is possible, and can gain the support that they need. So you can do it. I promise you. It just takes a little courage, awareness, and support. Find that support too. Talk to you soon.